Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to Dave and Joe Liberty Stand. We are back with a fire
vengeance.
in our soul for saving souls. Okay,
All that stuff.
you can't offend me. I'm a victim.
What?
It's not my fault. You made me do it.
There's periods after every.
What
one
am
of
I?
those.
What am I? What's going on there,
The
Dave?
way you
What
read
am I
that,
saying?
You're saying you're a big wuss. Is what you're saying?
Can't. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a big wuss, man. You go name them off one at a time to me. Let me react
All
to
right.
each one.
Well, it's not my fault.
Well, what'd you do?
That you said something that offended me.
Well, you're a big wuss. What's the other one?
I did it because
Because of why? What did you do? Was it something wrong?
I got kicked out of my apartment because they didn't do my they didn't fix my air conditioning, so it's their fault I got kicked out.
I don't even understand that one. What's the next one?
That's it.
No, I mean the next.
No, that's what I got.
Oh, I thought you had a.
So
longer
no,
list.
but I mean what we're getting at though is we live in we're in a time where nobody wants to take personal responsibility
No, I get
for
that.
how they react to things. How I mean, like if you say something that offends me and I react to that, I'm still responsible for my reaction, even though I don't agree with what you said. You know what I'm saying?
We're
Does that make
doing
sense?
a show. If I don't know if you saw what we did a minute ago, but the key to life really is. It's not what happens to you, man. If you think bad stuff only happens to you, wowee, what a self-absorbed prick you are. Okay, bad stuff happens to every single human being on this planet. We're all human beings, and we all have other human beings that we care about and matter to us, and bad stuff happens to them, and bad stuff happens to us, and we care when it happens to anybody in our circle, and that's bad on us. It's how you react to that, okay? And that's what Joe's coming to on his point here.
Well, and that's part of it. But I mean, it's also taking responsibility for our choices.
Sure.
So even if you say something that offends me, what you're saying, you said you have the right. You don't have the right not to be offended.
Nobody has the right to not be offended.
So if somebody says something that you don't like, which that happens to us every day, right? I mean, really? I mean, seriously, with everybody, not just us.
Look at me, man.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah, nobody ever says anything.
But we live
unkind
in a
to me.
time where it's almost like, it's like a safe zone we talked about, but it's like we don't want to take personal responsibility. We want to blame shift, and I did this because. I mean, I was talking to someone I know, and they were getting kicked out of their apartment, or they lost a job, or they
Somebody else's
wrecked
fault.
their car, or
Wasn't my fault.
but yeah, and it was like I did it because they didn't do this, or
I haven't been able to drive in a couple weeks. It'll be 7 years. You know what?
Wow.
Yeah.
I was trying to give that that.
Couple
That's
weeks.
crazy,
In a couple
bro.
weeks, it'll be 7 years.
That's amazing. That is incredible. How do you do that?
The state of Indiana is a bunch of assholes, and it's all their fault.
Yeah.
And I did nothing wrong, which of course
Well,
is
I'm sure.
stupid.
Well, I'm
Of
sure you
course.
felt that way.
Of course, I was an idiot.
But you were upset that it happened. But you realize you're the one who did something wrong.
I'm a quick study, right?
Yeah.
It only took me a few tries.
Right.
I
But
mean,
now you're at the point where.
But I own it. I
Yeah.
know why I'm.
But
where
now,
I am.
though,
That's-
I know you recently went to try to get your license back, right?
Well, that was like a year and a half.
And so they denied you.
No, they said I could go back to court, which would be a court cost. And then my lawyer advised me it'd probably might be okay, but then they'd have to install one of those breathalyzer things
Yeah.
for the vehicle
For the
to
vehicle.
start. Well, now when I got in trouble, I knew I wasn't going to be able to drive for a long time. I really loved my Jeep, and I didn't, so I gave it to my mom. Well, I sold it to her for $1, and signed it over to her.
Right.
And so I could have, because I love that Jeep. I want that Jeep back.
Yeah.
And it's like my mom has to drive that thing too because
So-
she got rid of her car.
So how long?
I don't want that thing in there. And plus, they
Right.
said it cost a mint.
Oh,
to,
yeah.
to do that.
But how
and
long?
she'd have
When
to
do
do
you
it.
get your license back?
Well, the sentence was 10 years, so it'd be 3 more years.
But it's not.
no.
5
I
to
don't
10.
want this to be about that.
No, it's not.
No,
but
I'm just saying. The point of it
I'm
is,
just curious.
we'll talk about that in private. But
No, I want all the world.
I
to
effed
see.
up, man. I screwed up. You know what? It was my bad. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and whine about it. Well, that cop really didn't like. I got long hair, and no, I was freaking drunk. Okay, all right.
Well, and you right.
And I did what I had to do. And
You
now I'm
took
not
the
in trouble
response.
with the law anymore. I haven't been for a long time. I'm in trouble with the BMV, and I cannot drive for whenever. And it's what it is. But I own it. I did it. Why do people have a problem with admitting that when they're wrong?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Well, and I think the weight of that is, I mean, of any okay, so maybe it's part of it is people feel they're sensing the weight of what they've done, and so that's too much for them to take, so they can't. It's just like our sin. I'm kind of getting to our sin. It's like, because I mean, why do people go out, why do people take drugs, for instance, or why do people have illicit sex, or
Drink a lot.
yeah. Well, in some cases, they've made a choice and they did something that was wrong, and then there's this weight upon them of that wrong choice that they can't bear. So they bury the you don't want to feel that. You don't want to sense that,
What
right?
kind of grades did you get in psychology?
Listen, though, that you don't want to sense that. And so you, instead of facing it like you did, you faced your consequences. Sure. They don't want to face that because it's just like so much shame.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think we have so many people in this country that don't want to just go, you know what? I was stupid and I messed up.
They don't realize that there's a loving, forgiving Father.
No.
God.
That is one.
Okay.
that is
Okay.
one. But there is a even greater reason why they actually. The other one's a greater reason because, which makes them not even know about the first one that you just said. Our country has changed dramatically so much. There is no God.
Right.
You're not allowed to. You're a freak if you talk about him.
Yeah.
And it's all upside down. Crazy behavior is celebrated, and good behavior is you're a square, a dork, or a jerk, or whatever.
Would you say irresponsible behavior is celebrated? Kind of saying in some.
Sorry, do you watch
ways?
reality TV? And
oh my gosh!
Look at the top
Oh
shows on
yes,
television.
we were watching this show. It was these people in this house, and there was like 10 guys and 10 girls, and they were supposed to find out who the experts matched up. But they were freaking making out with everybody else, having sex with everybody else, just about getting drunk. They were getting drunk.
I was denied.
Every
I signed up and I was denied to be on that show.
oh man,
But anyway, here's
probably
the point.
because you didn't drink enough.
I doubt that would be the reason.
So what's the point?
The
Let's
point-
wrap it up.
The point is,
Put a bow on this one.
it's a catch-22. When you have a great country, when you have a rich country, the most powerful country in the world, it makes people not have to care and pay attention to things.
Right. I can
So
see
your
that.
educational system goes down the drain because of people with other agendas that are to make people the way they are now.
Because you're saying, okay, the government's going to educate my children.
And it makes it right to push it off on them.
Yeah.
Not that you don't want to bother with
The
your
pastor's going to
children.
educate. They're going to be spiritual
It makes
leaders.
your
for my
entertainment
kids. Yeah.
very
Oh
frivolous.
man, it's just nuts.
And your culture
sad,
goes
man.
down the drain.
We
And it's
sat
all,
there,
and nobody cares because it's all funny.
I sat there and watched it, man,
And
with my family.
It's fun, and you're fat and happy because you know. I'm going to say we're rich, and I know you're going. Well, I don't know. No, I'm not. Okay, when I say we're rich, I'm talking about comparative with the
Not
world.
compared to Bill Gates.
Compared to with the world.
But compared to the
poorest
world.
people in this country are kings compared to
Oh,
people
yeah.
in other countries. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're starving tonight in America, it's your fault. You just didn't go to the right place. Okay.
Or there's a mental-
I've said this 3 times tonight, and I've said it many times on other episodes. John Adams said, "This country can only be governed by a moral and informed and moral citizenry." And we're not. And guess what? It's not working anymore. Now we got a bunch of pussies.
That was the bow. Well, you just.
Well, it's true.
All right, we're going to erase that part because I can do that now. All right, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Have a
I'll
good
put
night.
it in the title because I know how to do that.
God bless y'all.